Hey, all you minties, this is the Uncanny Omar from Near Mint Condition, and join me today for your advanced look at the 100 Bullets Omnibus Volume 2 from DC Comics. Let's get this started. And welcome back, everybody. So here is 100 Bullets Omnibus Volume 2, one of my favorite Vertigo series, even though you're not going to find the word Vertigo on the cover or the spine or the back of the book. But what you are going to find is the DC Black Label. Here are the creators, the two main creators, of course, the writer and the artist, Brian Azzarello and then Eduardo Rizzo, and then 100 Bullets Omnibus Volume 2, winner of 6 Eisner Awards. The spine of the book right here, Brian Azzarello, Eduardo Rizzo, Omnibus Volume 2, DC Black Label. And then the back of the book. And, of course, the covers are all done by Dave Johnson. This omnibus retails for $125. Let's look at the back. It does have a age 17 plus rating on it. It's got mature content. Let's compare it to this behemoth of Volume 1. So, here's what the covers look like. And the spines of both books. This one's significantly slimmer than this one. And then the back of the books. And then the other big difference here between these two is the dust jacket itself. The dust jacket on Volume 2 is just glossy all around, whereas this had a flat tone to it. So if you hold it up, you're not going to get much of a reflection, as opposed to holding up this Volume 2. So, and it's just glossy all around. It's not just parts of it. Now, one of the things that I shared on social media was when retailers were getting early copies of the Omnibus, it was noted to me that this collects 100 bullets, 59 through 100. Now, some of them were asking me, do you think that's a mistake? And I said, I don't know. There's only really one way to find out, and that's if you crack the book open. Because this was solicited to have the Brother Lono series, the 8-issue miniseries. Here's the spine of the book without the dust jacket, which happens after the 100th issue of 100 Bullets. Now, that series has never been collected in deluxe edition. It's only been collected in trade paperback. So a lot of us were excited. Now, I'm not going to waste any more time and just tell you it's not in here. The 8 issues that have been solicited of Brother Lono through the catalog, through solicitation, through Amazon, through in-stock trades, cheap graphic novels, Walt's Comic Shop, doesn't matter where you get your books, because they all share the same solicits. It's not in here. I'm going to open it up and talk a little bit about that here in a second, though. Okay, so let's get this open. And here is the 100 Bullets logo. Here are the creators, Brian Azzarello, Eduardo Rizzo, Patricia Mulvihill, who is the colorist on the entire book right here. Clem Robbins doing all the letters, and of course Dave Johnson doing the covers. Here's your table of contents, and even the table of contents does not show Brother Lono. It ends with 100 bullets, and then you get to the extras. Now, this book also was solicited to have 1,008 pages. Now, that is true. It does have 1,008 pages. Here's an introduction from 2009 by Brian Azzarello. So if you got the trade paperbacks, which is the way that I originally collected this series, you got the introductions there. I love the names of the trade paperbacks. But let's talk about the story and focus on the artwork, and then we'll go back and talk about the missing content to see if it's even necessary if you've never read the series. So this does contain the remaining issues of 100 Bullets, which was only 100 issues rather. So this collects issues 59 through 100. This is the beautiful artwork by Eduardo Rizzo, and I love his art. I just remember when I first got the first trade paperback, falling in love with his almost Frank Miller / Tim Sale, rest in peace, type of style. The contrast between just blacks and whites, I thought it was excellent and definitely fits the tone of this particular story. So here we have the return of the Minutemen, and they're coming full force. Now, the real truth behind everything is coming full force. We learn about the trust and who they really are, and why the Minutemen decided to just disperse and go into hiding. So if you remember from Volume 1, I assume if you're here, you might have read Volume 1, and if you haven't, I'm not going to spoil what happens in Volume 1. I'm just going to The basic plot is about these characters that were part of this clandestine named the Trust, and their protectors for hundreds of years have been these 7 characters plus an agent known as the Minutemen. And in the first volume, we have this character known as Agent Graves, and he appears to somebody, different characters throughout the first few issues, and gives them a gun with 100 bullets. Now, these bullets are, of course, untraceable, and he tells them who wronged them in their lives, who put them in prison, who made their lives a living hell, and gives them the option to go and kill them. Now, he doesn't say, you get points. He doesn't say that, you belong to an organization if you decide to kill these people. He just kind of walks away. And that's really the big mystery. But the whole mystery is all revealed through those pages and then here. And you get to learn that they were really a group of just assassins or protectors for this particular clandestine group of people that live in Europe. So in this volume, you get to learn about the Trust, you get to learn about the Minutemen, and the new Minutemen, because remember, the Minutemen have always been 7 different characters, and we have new additions, including, some characters that you met in Volume 1. So everybody comes back in this particular volume. Well, the characters that are still alive, like Agent Graves and Dizzy and Cole, Milo, those type of characters, and of course Lono, who goes through different changes here, and hence we have a mini-series later on called Brother Lono. But this collects everything. Everything you wanted to know gets explained here. There are some things that I was left like, well, I don't know about that. Like, that kind of doesn't really make much sense. But everything you wanted, all the backstabbing, all the lies, all the power moves lead up to this particular volume. And it all comes to one ending. And, people, whether they like it or not, that's just the way it ends. I thought it ended good. There were still some questions that were left unanswered, and I wish that he would have expanded more on those. But I guess limiting yourself to 100 issues, you kind of have to rush some things. Not everybody is going to get the ending you think they deserve. But this is what the artwork looks like. The artwork is what really draws me to this particular story. There's a lot of mature content, not just for the sexual content and language, but holy crap, there are some gratuitous scenes in here. Very similar to things like Sin City or The Boys. This is definitely a pulp noir type of story, and, you can have those type of stories without the sexual or gratuitous violence, but it just doesn't, these are, to me, I've always said the villains make the heroes. So the more cruel, the more horrible a villain is, the better the hero looks. And there are things that some of these characters do through here that you're like, holy crap, they are the scum of the earth. And they also happen to be the people in charge of this world, so that doesn't seem fair. But if you've read Volume 1 and you enjoy it, this is the same kind of tone, this is the same kind of stories you're going to be reading in here. But I will also stress that I think Volume 1 had the better stories. Volume 1 had the bigger mysteries. Once the mystery is all out, and it's all mapped out for you, and they kind of tell you exactly what's happened, that kind of takes away from the charm of the book. And it happens through the first third of this book, too, where things are explained. Now, as far as the extras, let's go there. Just look at that badass art. So we jump right to the extras, which are the covers to the trade paperbacks. I love the names of the trade paperbacks because there were 13 of them, and a lot of them had, this one's 6 feet under the gun for Volume 6. I think Volume 5 is the Counterfeit Detective. So it's like a take on the actual volume number. But they are all back here. They weren't in Volume 1 because Volume 1 was big enough. And then, of course, the bio on the creators. Here's your end sheet. Now, as far as the binding and build, at over 1,000 pages, it is sewn binding. And it was a little tight at first. It started to close up on me a couple times. So I had to stretch the spine about 5 times on this particular omnibus. And now it lays over better. Really, what's trying to close it now, it's this thick end paper there. But the story. So, do you need Brother Lono to appreciate this? No, not at all. This wraps up everything. This wraps up the loose ends with a lot of the characters. Some things, like I said, I wish had been answered, but too many characters and not enough time. But I really was hoping that that mini-series was going to be collected in here. I was excited. It was the reason why I upgraded. Well, no, one of the reasons. The other reason is, of course, I have this channel and I have to do overviews of books. So this is what I do. But it's a reason why a lot of people upgraded to it. So many people were excited because those oversized hardcovers are out of print. Some of those volumes are hard to find. And if you had the oversized hardcovers and you were getting this, is it worth upgrading? Well, I guess it depends, right? If you like it in all-in-one, there are many oversized hardcovers that I've upgraded to that have added zero material. So really it depends on you. But yes, it's not in here. I'm sad to report. I wish it was in there, but what are you going to do? But that, as they say, is that. If you're interested in purchasing this book, don't forget to check out our sponsor, cheapgraphicnovels.com, your online home for graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They have excellent shipping and prompt and helpful service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And don't forget that CGN also takes pre-orders. That way you don't miss out on the hottest releases. And they are currently running a special promotion for you Minties. If you're a first-time customer, after receiving your order confirmation email, reply back to that email and let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way. They will then apply a free shipping promotional credit to your next order in the US. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. And that was the content and page count of this omnibus, and of course the build. Let me know in the comments down below if you're picking this up. If you were upgrading, were you hoping that this was going to have the Brother Lono series? I think I'm repeating myself here, but I know whenever they solicit these things, it is important to a lot of us that they kind of stick with what they said was going to be released. I know retailers are not going to be happy. But anyway, I would love to know your thoughts. If you enjoyed the series, if you've never read it, and this is the way that you're picking it up, you're in for a treat. Again, this was the Uncanny Omar. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have any comments or questions, leave your questions and comments down below. Check out our Patreon and Spreadshop. Amazing ways to support the channel if you can do so. And more importantly, all of you stay healthy and safe. Much love.